My name's Ellie, welcome to my channel. We're doing more makeup. Still playing with the hair, adding flips and seeing what sticks. I'm still getting very used to the Arcana palette. I want to do something in the warm, happy, easy side, so most likely Entity, Altar, and Sacred for the crease, and then Chalice and Enchantress for the lid. Yeah. I might be going back to work next week. Not from my regular position, but because another position needs to come back, and the person who was doing it took another job. It's not my favorite way to come back, but it is also still a position that I have done before. This is Entity. It is the closest we have to like a soft crease shade, and it is quite pigmented. It is late afternoon and the sun is kind of hopping in and out since we're still in rain. We're still in the rainy time of spring. I started making stuff with the excess sourdough starter that you have to throw off every time you feed it. I think in a couple days I'll even be ready for bread. Okay, with that down, I want to go into Altar, the smaller brush, and just start going at it. I'm gonna run over the edges with Entity once I have Altar where I want it. I don't know, I felt like it was a good idea to lay down a base of Entity first. We will find out, because I don't normally use a transition shade, and that is kind of what I tried to do with that. I don't always feel like it does anything, but every once in a while I use it. I feel like transition shades help a lot if you don't set your base, or like I do, put something in your crease to brow bone for easier blending. It's because if you are putting down just a regular crease, regular primer, be it a concealer, a primer, it's your foundation, whatever it is, if you're not putting a powder over the top and it doesn't set down on its own, it's probably quite sticky and would cause probably skipping and patchiness and grabbiness. The reason I don't use Urban Decay primer potion, because I don't like how grabby it is. Like, this primer takes the color very well and holds it, but it also allows you to kind of work on top of it. Technically, I didn't try what I currently do with the primer potion. I have what I like right now, so it seems silly to go in and try and do something else. Okay, so that is Altar and Entity blended out. I'm going to put some of Sacred in the deep crease. Oh. A little of that goes a long way. You can't see very well because inconsistent lighting, but that is pigmented, like all the mattes in here. Quite pigmented. Yeah, but in one of my Facebook groups, my makeup Facebook groups that I'm in, somebody was asking about transition shades and what the point is, and in my opinion, I never got super into using them. Part of that was that shades are either light enough to set my skin or deep enough to be a true crease shade without being a transition. There's not a lot in between. Like if you had more mid-tone skin, Entity would probably be a decent transition shade. It just isn't for me because my skin is pale. I'm going to go in with Enchantress first, and we'll put Chalice on the inner half and blend the two. But, you know, there's so many different ways people are doing stuff. People are doing a lot different styles of makeup than they were a couple years ago when transition shades were all the rage. And I feel like, I don't know why I'm saying it like I was super into makeup. I was not as into makeup when transition shades were so crazy popular, but I feel like good quality eyeshadow has become very available. Like, this is an amazing formula, but even just like medium, workable, usable, not blow your socks off but get the job done eyeshadow seems to be a lot easier to make, and a lot more widely available, so you don't need, you know, 3 or 4 of the same color in varying shades to make a smooth crease. You can just take one shade and then blend it out nicely, and they do blend out nicely with most products. Like, it's, reviewing eyeshadow is getting kind of complicated in that most of it's pretty good. A lot of it is down to like really, really nitty-gritty preferences, and so much of it is like, yeah, the shimmers adhere and they are sparkly. Yeah, the mattes stick and they do properly blend out. They're true to color. That's when you start getting into like, oh, well, I like the adherence of this, I like the wear time of this, I like these shades having such a trueness of color. Like the way these mattes blend out nicely and maintain their color, not like blending into other muddy bits, like how blues normally blend into gray and stuff like that. Is just so much easier, so you don't need those transition shades or as many of those, because if you have a mid-tone shade for you in a matte, it's probably going to blend and do a nice blown out look on its own without a lot of finesse. But if you don't set your primer with anything other than a transition shade, that would make a nice place for your to allow extra blending on an otherwise sticky primer. So anytime I figure out, I'm like, oh, that must have been why people used the thing, I get proud of myself. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm right, it just makes more sense to me once I've made one of those connections. Okay, now to blend the two. Well, that was easy. That was really easy. I am going to pull over highlighter because I don't have a light highlighting shade in the Arcana palette, but non-vanilla quartz. from Becca. Becca is their name. No, for some reason I started looking over and being like, ooh, should I use like a shadow from a different palette? No, it's not worth it to open up a whole nother palette when I have this very nice highlighter in a good matching tone. I know, the lighting is bad, and I seem to have some, hoping it doesn't end up on the finished product, but there was some lag there. Now, surprisingly enough, this had fallout that you can't see because of the horrible lighting, of course. It should be fine. I think most of it was from the red. The matte red is very pigmented, and I think I picked up too much product and knocked some onto my face. Okay, let's get into the rest of my face. I have stuff to do downstairs. I'm using leftover discarded sourdough starter to make peanut butter cookies today. And I knew I wanted to get this done while there was still some light, so I popped the dough in the fridge. For now. Now that I've gotten the settingness proper for this bronzer, it is working really well. I can hear my cat, but I don't know if she's inside or outside, because I have my windows open and she is a loud cat. Either way, she's gonna have to wait since I'm makeuping. So, if I end up going back to work, if HR approves it, to come in and help out with another job that I'd be doing for a little bit to help out, I would be coming in every other day, because they're staggering who does come back, so that some people are in one day and some people are in the other day, so that we can get work done and not have too much staff in an office. They'll be moving my desk so it's further from contamination zones. Oh, I just got something in my eye. And then I will, in theory, be able to get some work done. I'll still be here every other day. I'm gonna go into these two from the Balm, so Argyle and Hot Mama, which are my new panning projects. And then I might do, ooh, there went all the light. I've been liking Argyle on like the apples and Hot Mama on the backs of my cheek. And of course, Argyle is very forgiving on me. I didn't want sunlight to be able to do something. That's silly. Silliness. So you're just gonna keep getting darker? Great. I keep thinking that we're gonna have something more interesting. With us going into summer, the sun's supposed to be around more, and it is not behaving. I think my cat's outside. I can hear my mom talking to her. So, I'm gonna leave that there for now. And then I'll make a decision. I might put my Franken bronzer or Franken highlighter over the top, because I did that yesterday while playing around, and it turned out really cute. So, side problem to my flipping my hair is, it'll just twist slightly and flip out, which is not what I did all my work for. But my hair is ungrateful. What the hell? Sorry. You know how you can feel something in your eye, whether it's just kind of bouncing around or is like sharp and annoying? That was something sharp and annoying. Just is moving around my eye. Just this eye. Poking random bits. But if I leave it long enough, my eye will encase it in protective bits and will just get rid of it. I think the brows are getting better. I'm learning to show some restraint with product, I think. Again, it would be better if I shaped my brows, but I'm not committed to that right now. Last time I did much brow shaping, I put this huge gap between them. They've never been the same. To be fair, back then the gap was wider, but they've never really grown further together than where they are now. Like, I'll get sporadic hairs, but I won't get them filling further in. That's just where my brows are now. Because when I was a young girl with no chill and access to tweezers, I learned I like to rip out hair. There's something very satisfying about pulling it out and like seeing the tail attachment of it. It's gross and really cool, and if hand plucking things was not the worst, most annoying thing in the world, I might have just hand plucked my legs. Hurts your back to bend that much though, for that long. And I'm sure some of that was just like general anxiety things of it helped my anxiety to pull out hairs. But is that all we got? It's the last little nubbin of brow anything. Well, of this brow thing. I realized I got a new brow thing and was using it and going to finish it before this old brow thing that I still have. Seemed silly. The good side of having aggressively plucked my unibrow is that it does not connect ever again. I never have to worry about, like, having it fully in. Like, I have a couple random hairs, but nothing that's really visible to anyone but me. Okay. Franken highlighter. We're gonna pop this on my cheekbones. It'll hopefully help do something with the warmness. Because that blush is nice and, in my opinion, flattering on me, but it is also very pink, which we're a bit warmer toned than that today. Not that there's enough light for you to see. Okay, setting spray time. I don't know why I'm putting on a ton of setting spray, like, my face needs to last. It's the end of the day and I'm not doing anything. Well, baking. I'm making cookies. If only the lighting was better. I really like how this eyeshadow turned out, but you can't really see it that well. Time for lashes. I am getting real annoyed with my neighbors. I guess a couple kids on our street had birthdays, and so they're doing a drive-by parade, which is fine. What is not fine is everybody honking incessantly during said parade. Like, the kids are outside. The birthday kid is outside, watching you drive by, watching you guys wave. You do not need to lay on your horn for 15 fucking minutes. Especially because if it had been like, oh, you honk once or twice as you're passing, that would have been annoying, but fine. No, it was honk, 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 honk. I get that it sucks for people, kids especially, who never normally get a lot of joy out of birthday parties. But I was trying real hard not to be that bitch that goes inside and said, "Shut the fuck up or I'll throw a fucking bottle at your head." It's so annoying. And since I'm in a residential area, if somebody does those types of parades on any of our neighboring streets, we can hear all the honking. Which ruins some of the... Like, quarantine sucks, and it's not fun, and I'm excited to get back to work and go do stuff. I'd be a little more comfortable if I was confident that we had a vaccine and it was properly contained, because my area is still going up in cases. But one of the few good things about being in quarantine is it's nice and quiet. It's chill, nobody's having big neighbor parties, everybody's just gardening and cooking, and it's relaxing. If you decide to have a huge honking match, 20 minutes. It ruins some of the small joys of quarantine. Okay, now that I've had my little burst of being a nasty, evil person for not liking horn honking, I'm gonna try out, played with it yesterday, but I finally got a proper lip brush, like a nice, sturdy one. This is from Makeup Forever. It is a travelable, sturdy lip brush. I played with it last night. I'm going to put on what I think is Bonfire Dance from Necromancy Cosmetics. And we will hopefully have a better time than trying to put this on with the old lip brush I had that was not very good. That's better. I used it last night with a Bite Beauty depotted lipstick, which I'll probably then go and depot some of my other ones that are kind of overly moist. The Bite Beauty is so creamy that I was like, of course it's going to go on easily with a lip brush. Whereas this is a bit of a thicker formula. It was not always as emollient as the Bite ones. But since it exploded, thought it'd be a good time to practice. Because this is, you know, basically a whole lipstick in a pot, since it's snapped off. And I would like to be able to use it. It's a cool color. It was just a ton of work to apply it with the old lip brush that I hated. But now, I can wear the lipstick. I feel like I'm still gonna have that same issue of mascara and lipstick where I just keep applying it just in case I need more product. Also because there is a certain amount of, is my pressure correct when trying to put this on with a lip brush. It is different than putting on a bullet lipstick. But it is on, face is done, hair is still kind of doing a thing. It's doing something. Better than nothing. Has more bottom flip than it did before. This is my makeup. I think it turned out quite nice. I'm gonna go make some peanut butter cookies and hope for a callback from HR saying that I am approved to come in on some type of schedule next week and start getting stuff done, because I do like doing stuff. I like being productive. I like feeling like I'm getting stuff done, and if I can help out, that means my company is more likely to survive quarantine and the shutdown and the pandemic, and that I will get to go back to my regular job at that company later. I'll see you guys. Stay safe. Have fun as much as you can. Don't yell at your neighbors for honking. I didn't. It was good. I wanted to, but I didn't. Just one step closer to me, that crotchety old lady yelling at kids to get off my lawn.